So let's look at this line. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
If you didn't watch the game, though, there's so much to this line.
Sure.
51 points, 13 assists, 10 rebounds in 41 minutes, and then playing the entire fourth quarter and really struggling, missing 14 shots. Did Billy Donovan manage Westbrook's minutes properly in a game like this?
Yeah. I mean, like, are we talking about substitution patterns, or are we talking about number of minutes? What, he played 41 minutes? It's playoffs. You need him every minute you can get him. And Westbrook has boundless energy. The issue to me wasn't the minutes. The issue is, unless you want to say that physical fatigue leads to kind of mental or emotional fatigue late in the game, the issue was, as usual, they wouldn't have been in the game without Westbrook. But in the moment of truth, and he copped to this after the game, like Westbrook knows, in the moment of truth, he didn't have enough trust in his teammates. You know, if McBuckets is open, you get him the ball. That's what he's doing. That's why he's there. And he didn't. And part of that is, it's the reason Westbrook's my favorite player, you know, like that thing in him where he feels like when the going gets tough, he has to pull the whole load. And this was Michael Jordan early in his career, Kobe Bryant early in his career, Allen Iverson. And when those guys had their ultimate success, it's when they learned to trust their teammates a little more. And Westbrook, at the post-game presser, essentially cops to that.
He missed 14 shots by himself in the fourth quarter alone. That's the most in any playoff quarter in the last 20 years. Let's go to the Eastern Conference, where the Wizards won again. They're up 2-0. John Wall, 32 points. And they wouldn't match up, the Wizards, with Cleveland until the Eastern Conference Finals, with the way that bracket sorts out. Are they doing enough to throw a scare into the Cavs?
Yes, I think so. I mean, look, in the end, we all believe in the LeBron brand, which, for what it's worth, you know, is you're going to get to the finals out of the Eastern Conference. But there's a reason no one's done what he's done since Bill Russell, that many consecutive finals appearances. Even Jordan took a 2-year hiatus and recharged his batteries, most of a 2-year hiatus. It's exhausting. It's physically and emotionally draining, right? And so one of these years, it's going to be too much. He will be exhausted. J.R. Smith doesn't start playing that perimeter defense that we saw last year. Kyrie Irving doesn't start playing up to his full capability. Kevin Love doesn't start to have the kind of game that he had against Lance Stevenson, even if it's not just a mismatch in terms of who's guarding him. LeBron can't do it all himself, even if he does try to turn it on. But it's not even the Wizards, I think, that pose the greatest threat in the East. I think it's Toronto. Generally,
really?
Yep. I think part of their struggle right now has more to do with the Greek Freak and Milwaukee and what they're going to be in the not-too-distant future than Toronto's struggling. Look, usually my rule of thumb is among roughly equivalent teams, go with the team with the best player, right?
Yeah.
So that's Washington. John Wall is the best player among all the players on Boston, Toronto, and Washington. So you like
the contenders.
Right, sure. Yeah. So you like Washington, but when sometimes there are exceptions to that, and you look at what Ujiri has done in Toronto, the kind of team he's put together. Once he brought Serge Ibaka and PJ Tucker in, especially Ibaka, they've always had good stretch fours, but now they have a stretch four who can protect the rim. And when you look all around that team up and down, I think it's the best roster in the East, other than the Cavs, because they have LeBron. And I think Toronto poses the greatest threat.
I was not expecting that, considering the struggles that they've had so far in the first 2 games of that series against the Bucks.
I mean, the Bucks are guys,
They're
if they
very
keep
good.
that team together.
Because it's Giannis, yes. And then Middleton on the other side.
The size of the athletes on that team, and by the way, among the contenders, John Wall is the best player, right? But among Eastern Conference teams not called the Cavs, maybe Antetokounmpo is already.
Man, he's only 20.
It's
Max,
insane.
thank you so much.